You wake up, but something feels off. For a moment, reality doesn't feel quite real. Your body is still heavy, your mind is foggy, and the last fragments of your dream slip away like smoke. But what if those last 5 minutes before waking up held the answers to things we barely understand? Things about the nature of consciousness, the boundaries between worlds, and the mysteries hidden within our own minds. Scientists and researchers have uncovered some shocking details about what happens just before you wake up. And the truth is stranger than you think. Before we look into the strange experiences that are displayed in those final moments, let's first understand what's happening in your brain as you transition from dreaming to wakefulness. Your sleep follows a predictable cycle, but the last few minutes before waking are when the real anomalies occur. This is when your brain shifts from the deep, subconscious world of REM sleep into full consciousness. And this transition isn't always smooth. Sometimes it reveals secrets we were never meant to remember. To truly understand what happens just before waking up, we need to break past the surface and explore what the brain, the mind, and even reality itself might be doing in those final moments of sleep. 1. Your brain wakes up before you do. 5 minutes before you wake up, your brain has already started the process of bringing you back to consciousness. It begins by increasing electrical activity in the frontal cortex, preparing your body to move and gradually pulling you out of the dream world. But here's where things get weird. Your mind is still partially inside the dream, and this creates a strange in-between state where hallucinations, sleep paralysis, and even out-of-body experiences can occur. This is why you sometimes feel like you're awake but unable to move, or why the last few moments of your dreams can feel so vivid and intense. Your brain is struggling to fully separate dreams from reality, and in that brief period, the boundaries between the two blur. Some people report hearing voices, seeing shadowy figures, or even feeling like they're floating above their bodies. It's as if, for a moment, the mind is untethered, existing in both worlds at once. But the real mystery lies in why your brain does this in the first place. Neuroscientists believe it's a protective mechanism, a way to ensure you don't wake up too abruptly. But spiritual traditions across the world tell a different story, one that suggests this state is a gateway to something much deeper. 2. You experience a reality glitch. There's something unsettling about those last moments before waking up. The world around you doesn't quite feel right. Maybe your alarm clock looks distorted, or your bedroom appears eerily different for a split second. Some people report experiencing false awakenings when they wake up inside a dream, thinking they're in reality, only to realize moments later that they're still asleep. These glitches aren't random. Your brain is reconstructing reality as it boots back up, and sometimes it gets things wrong. It's like a computer struggling to load a complex program, filling in gaps with whatever data it can find. And in that brief period, reality itself becomes unstable. This could explain why some people experience déjà vu, ghostly presences, or the eerie sensation that they've woken up in the wrong version of reality. But what if this isn't just a mistake? Some theorists believe that this moment of instability is when your mind is most receptive to external influences, whether they be spiritual, metaphysical, or even other versions of yourself from alternate timelines. 3. Your body is still asleep. Even though your brain is waking up, your body hasn't caught up yet. This is why some people experience sleep paralysis, where they're fully conscious but unable to move. It's one of the most terrifying phenomena a person can experience, and in those moments, it's common to see shadowy figures or feel an overwhelming presence in the room. Sleep paralysis happens because your body is still in its protective paralysis mode from REM sleep, preventing you from acting out your dreams. But what's more unsettling is that many cultures describe similar entities appearing during these episodes. Dark figures standing at the foot of the bed, whispering voices, or an unbearable weight pressing down on the chest. Are these just hallucinations created by a confused brain? Or is this moment of transition between sleep and wakefulness opening a door to something else? Ancient texts and folklore from around the world suggest that sleep paralysis isn't just a neurological glitch, but a glimpse into a hidden reality we usually can't perceive. 4. Your perception of time is distorted. Have you ever woken up from what felt like hours of dreaming, only to realize only a few minutes had passed? This happens because in those last 5 minutes, your brain enters a unique state where time stretches and compresses unpredictably. Scientists have found that our perception of time in dreams is completely different from our waking experience. Some people claim to have lived entire lifetimes inside their dreams, only to wake up and realize it was all an illusion created in minutes. But here's where things get even stranger. Some dream experiences are so vivid and detailed that they seem more real than waking life. What if these weren't just dreams? What if in those final moments before waking, your consciousness was momentarily free to experience realities beyond this one? Some believe that this is evidence of parallel universes, where we briefly tap into different versions of our existence before being pulled back into our familiar reality. 5. You may be receiving messages. Across history, countless individuals have claimed to receive visions, warnings, or insights in their dreams, especially in the moments just before waking up. Some of the greatest scientific discoveries, artistic masterpieces, and even spiritual revelations have come from this state. Nikola Tesla once spoke about how his most revolutionary ideas came to him in dreams. The structure of the benzene molecule, a breakthrough in chemistry, was discovered by a scientist who saw it in a dream just before waking up. This suggests that in those last moments of sleep, when the subconscious mind is still active but the conscious mind is waking up, we have access to something beyond our normal awareness. Some believe these insights come from the deep subconscious, while others suggest they might be external messages, whether from the universe, a higher intelligence, or even versions of ourselves from different realities. Whatever the case, these moments of transition between dream and wakefulness may be when our minds are most open to receiving information we wouldn't otherwise have access to. 6. Your brain briefly enters a near-death state. What if the moments before waking up are strangely similar to what happens when you die? Studies on near-death experiences, NDEs, reveal shocking parallels between the last minutes of sleep and the process of death. People who have been declared clinically dead and then revived often report eerily similar sensations, floating above their body, seeing a bright light, experiencing an overwhelming sense of peace, or even encountering otherworldly entities. But here's where it gets unsettling. Your brain produces a surge of activity just before death, similar to the way it activates before waking up. In both cases, the mind transitions from one state to another, whether from sleep to wakefulness or from life to whatever comes next. Some researchers speculate that what we experience in the final moments before waking up could be a preview of what death feels like. It's almost as if waking life itself is just another layer of consciousness, and in sleep, we momentarily slip into something deeper. This idea raises a disturbing question. If waking up feels so similar to returning from the brink of death, then what if dying is just another kind of awakening? Could it be that death, like sleep, is just a transition into a different reality, one we simply forget once we cross over? 7. It is possible that your dreams are manipulated by an unknown force. Dreams often feel random, but what if they aren't? What if someone, or something, is influencing what you see, what you experience, and even how you feel in the last few minutes before waking up? Many people have reported experiencing dreams that feel artificial, as if they were placed in a scenario they didn't create. Others have had moments where a voice or presence inside the dream seemed to be trying to tell them something important, only for them to wake up before they could fully understand the message. One of the strangest dream phenomena is the sudden shift that happens just before waking. You might be deep in a dream when, without warning, it changes completely, sometimes into a frightening scenario, sometimes into something so peaceful that waking up feels like being pulled out of heaven. Some believe these shifts are the result of external forces guiding our dreams, whether for protection, manipulation, or even to teach us lessons we can't grasp in waking life. Lucid dreamers, those who can control their dreams, often report feeling a presence watching them, as if someone else is aware of their awareness. And in the moments just before waking, that presence sometimes reveals itself, leaving people with cryptic messages, warnings, or profound insights. But the strangest part? Many who have experienced this claim that the presence doesn't feel like a part of their own mind. 8. Consciousness might not fully return to your body right away. When you wake up, you assume your mind and body are completely synchronized. But what if, for a few seconds, they aren't? Some people report feeling like they aren't fully back in their body upon waking, as if their consciousness is still somewhere else. This is often described as an out-of-body experience, waking up, but feeling like you're floating, or that your perspective is slightly off. as if you're watching yourself from a distance. It's not just anecdotal. Scientists studying sleep and consciousness have found that there's often a delay between when the brain wakes up and when the full sense of self returns. This gap in awareness could explain why some people experience strange sensations, like suddenly feeling disconnected from reality, forgetting who they are for a moment, or even having flashes of memories that don't seem to belong to them. Some traditions suggest that sleep is a time when the soul leaves the body, exploring other dimensions or realities. And if that's true, then the moments before waking up might be the time when the soul returns, but sometimes it doesn't come back instantly. This could explain why some people wake up feeling like they've been somewhere else, seeing places or faces they don't recognize, or carrying emotions that seem to have no origin in their waking life. 9. You might wake up in a slightly different reality. Have you ever woken up feeling like something is just slightly off? Maybe your room looks exactly the same, but there's a subtle feeling that something has changed. Some people report small but eerie inconsistencies, an object being in a different place, a pet acting strangely, a lingering feeling that they woke up in a reality that isn't quite the one they went to sleep in. There's an unsettling theory that suggests we constantly shift between slightly different realities as we wake up, and that in the last few minutes before waking, we are not just transitioning between states of consciousness, but between versions of reality itself. This idea is connected to the Mandela effect, where large groups of people remember events differently, suggesting that our reality isn't as stable as we think. Some believe that in those moments before waking, we momentarily exist in multiple possible timelines at once, and when we fully regain consciousness, we settle into one of them. If that's true, then the choices we make in our dreams or the events that unfold there might have more influence on our waking life than we realize. What if each time you wake up, you're slightly different than the person you were the night before? 10. The last 5 minutes might not be just a dream. We are told that dreams aren't real, that they're just the mind's way of processing memories and emotions. But what if that's wrong? What if, in the last 5 minutes before waking, we aren't dreaming at all, but instead experiencing another version of reality that we aren't meant to remember? Many people report dreams that feel more real than life itself. The emotions are stronger, the details are clearer, and the experiences seem to carry a deeper meaning. Some claim to have met people in dreams who gave them wisdom, only to wake up and realize they had never seen these people before in their lives. Others have had experiences that later came true, as if their dreams were glimpses of the future. But what's most unsettling is that some researchers believe dreams might not be generated by the brain at all. They could be signals, information coming from somewhere else. And if that's the case, then the last 5 minutes before waking up might be the moment when we are closest to receiving messages from beyond our conscious reality. What if dreams are not just random thoughts, but echoes of other versions of ourselves living in parallel worlds? The truth is, we may never fully understand what happens in those last moments before waking up. But one thing is certain: our minds are capable of far more than we realize, and what we experience in those fleeting seconds might be the key to unlocking secrets about life, death, and existence itself. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.